Hey teachers, welcome back to Vivid Practice. I'm Nicola Canton. Today we're talking about a quick little practice tip that might make a big difference in your studio. I call this environmental awareness. And I'm not talking about greening your studio or being eco-friendly or anything like that. I'm talking about the practice room environment. Have you ever talked to parents in your studio about the practice environment? What's going on around the instrument? What kind of a room is it? What is that experience like for your student at home? In some cases, they won't be able to control it too much, but in some cases, they really can. So, let's think about what the ideal environments are for a practice space and how we can help families set that up a bit better. In many cases, in my studio, the practice room cannot be changed, and that's because I teach piano. Most people who live near me have small houses. They do not have a spare room to put a grand piano in. They barely have space to put their digital piano somewhere. And wherever it fits, that's where it's going to go in a lot of cases. So if that's the case, we don't have control directly over where it is. But in some cases, you do. In some cases, parents are putting a piano in the house and they do have a choice for where that's going to be located, and they might just default to something without thinking it through. So it's our job to educate them about the pros and cons of different situations. For instance, pianos in bedrooms usually don't work out that well. There's usually too many distractions in a bedroom. It tends to feel, in most households anyway, it does depend on how the family runs, but especially for little kids, being sent to your bedroom is not a good thing. It's not associated with having fun and being in the family, right? It's like being sent away from everyone. So the bedroom is a questionable choice. Maybe it's the living room, but then you start to butt heads with other things going on in the family. So you have to balance these things. Is there a TV in the living room space with the piano? Do people watch TV a lot in that house? Is there a games console that siblings are going to want to play on at the same time as so-and-so is supposed to do their practice? And that's going to result in a fight. And a fight that's hard for the sibling who's supposed to practice to win, because watching their sibling even playing a game versus practicing, which one feels easier and more fun in that moment? They're not going to fight very hard for their practice time. Maybe they will, but it's questionable. Maybe it goes in the kitchen. And then maybe there's cooking noises going on. I'm not saying any of these places are the wrong choice. I'm just saying we consider it and we think about especially that particular child. So thinking about this from the outset, but also using it as a troubleshooting opportunity when things aren't going right with practice. Now, if it is in the kitchen or the dining room and there's kitchen noises going on, a child who really needs silence to be able to focus is going to be frustrated by that. If it's in the living room and they're fighting with their siblings, that's an issue. So maybe the bedroom is the best choice in that case. Like, it does depend on the circumstance, but we want to think it through. We also want to think about how it feels in terms of being in the family unit and the sociability of it. Is the parent going to sit with the child during practice? If no one is going to sit beside them, are they within earshot of the rest of the family? Especially if they're younger and they might need support figuring stuff out, or they might need a parent to lend an ear just to know that they are actually doing something productive. They don't have to have experience with music to know that. They can just be listening out for, oh, they're playing over that section, they're obviously working on it, or those kind of sound like random notes, I wonder what that is, or whatever the case may be. So where is it in terms of where other people are in the house? What is it going to fight with? Is it in a cold, damp, dark bedroom? Because that's not going to feel attractive and comfortable. Is it beside a lot of distractions? Like, is it in a playroom? That happens a lot as well. Can those distractions be put away, or are they going to get in the way of practice? And ideally, the parent can sit beside the student while they practice, and that's going to alleviate a lot of these issues, but it's something to think about. So if you've never discussed this with families in your studio, give it a go. Have the conversation with them. Talk to them about where their child is practicing and whether it's possible to change it, and what in the environment might be influencing how they feel about practice.